fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Cordoba, Spain, and today we're going to answer one of your questions about traveling. Well, specifically about accommodation while you travel. And Kiara wants to know, what should I look for when I book accommodation? Well, there's a number of things you should look for when you book accommodations, and let's start with reading the reviews. And I'm going to tell you this, you don't just read 5-star reviews because that's their mom saying they're great, and you don't read the 1-star reviews because that's their ex-boyfriend saying bad things about them. No, those aren't as helpful. What you want to read are the 3- and 4-star reviews, because those might be people a little more realistic. They'll mention things about the cleanliness or the Wi-Fi or breakfast or location. Like, they tend to have specific reasons why, because sometimes you'll see a 4 that's actually written like a 5, but they have to say is, look, for workers, they don't have internet, so I can't give it a 5-star if you're going to be a digital nomad there, okay? So reading reviews is key, but I would recommend when you read reviews, don't just use one site. Use multiple sites. Use sites that have verified purchasers, because people actually stayed there, because anybody can go on TripAdvisor and write a review. So there's companies that actually will go and write nice reviews for you about your business. That's why sometimes you read reviews and you're like, this could be for any hotel. This could be for any restaurant. This could be for any business. That's why I like, like Booking, they have it where only if you book there and stayed there, you actually get to write a review, or Airbnb, their reviews. But the thing is, when you read the reviews, also try to read between the lines. For example, Airbnb. You write a review about the Airbnb, but they also write a review about you as a guest. And if you get a bad review as a guest, someone else might not rent to you. So we had a place that we stayed in Connecticut, and all the people were in there, it's like, oh, the owners are very attentive. They're right there for you. They're very attentive. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Turns out they were watching us through the windows. I mean, it was disturbing later on. I'm like, why didn't people tell us? Like, oh, they tried to. So read through the lines, or read between the lines when you're looking at those reviews and get a better feel for what's there. And when you read the reviews, here's some words you should look for. Clean. You want to know if the hotel room is going to be clean. People will mention it because they'll let you know if it was clean or if it was dirty. That's something you want to make sure you're checking out. Also, look for comfort, maybe, or bed comfort level. That's going to help you out because, if you get older and you're in a bad bed, your back might not let you walk across the Roman bridge here and go up the top of the, the bell tower at the Mesquita, right? So that's another thing to look into. So when you're looking at those reviews, I also want you to look at the pictures, okay? Because people will post pictures about the places they stay. And here's the thing, if you're going online and all you see are the kind of like publicity shots, like glamour shots of the hotel, and that's all that's there, sometimes I question that, because if people stay there, they're putting more candid shots in there. There's other views of the place, what the room really looks like, and that can give you a better idea of what it feels like when you're there. So definitely go through the pictures, but look for pictures posted from guests. That's going to give you a much more like realistic version of things. I mean, how many of you have gone on Zillow to look at a house, and then you go look at the house in person, you're like, did I just get catfished here? Because that can happen sometimes with hotels, and especially apartment rentals, because they make it look all nice for the pictures, but then when you go there, you're like, oh, they have a cat here and they didn't change the litter box before they left. It happens. And also look up if there's a word on location, because people like to mention the location is perfect. You're right near the sites. You're right where the restaurants are. Or they might say, hey, there's not a lot of restaurants by here, but since you're the heart of the action, it's okay. Those kind of reviews will help you get a better understanding of where things are, okay? So starting with the review stuff, you can really learn a lot to see if it's right for you. Another thing that we do is we actually will go on Google Maps and we'll look, where is the hotel located? Is it by sites we want to see, so we can just walk there? Or if we, if we had, when the kids were little, they couldn't go all day, but I wanted to make sure we could see stuff, then get back to the hotel or back to the apartment rental so the kids could relax, we could relax, then go back in the afternoon. So the location of things that you want to see in relation to the hotel, that can be important to look up too. And going with that kind of same thing, look at the public transportation that goes by that location. Do you have a subway line? Is there a bus line that goes through there? If you're flying in, like in Paris, do you take the RER, and is it near an RER stop, or do I have to switch to a subway? Or these kind of things make a difference, especially if you're going to be doing the public transportation route when you travel. If you're going to be driving, seeing if they have parking or free parking, because some places, yeah, there's parking, but you pay 50, 60 euros a night or dollars a night. Some places it's free. Knowing that can help out, because that will also influence what the overall price is, because it's different when you're looking at one that, oh, it's $200 a night, but then with parking it's $260 a night. Well, $260 a night, I'm looking for a different kind of hotel. Now, another thing you want to think about with your accommodation is your breakfast. Do you want breakfast included? Because some places you don't really need breakfast. For example, if you're in France, there's no reason to pay for breakfast when you can go to a bakery right down the street, a patisserie, and go get some really fresh baguettes and really fresh croissants, which are fantastic and usually cheaper than breakfast. So that's one thing to think about, especially when you're looking at hotels that charge for breakfast. If they're charging $20 per person and you're a family of 4, that's $80. You can get a lot of food at a lot of restaurants for $80, especially at breakfast time. So you want to look at that. That's why whenever I look, I say, well, is breakfast free? And if you have to pay for it, is it by room? Is it by person? Are there discounts for kids? Do kids eat free? That might influence your purchase as well, because a place like here in Spain, they don't do breakfast really. Like, you're not gonna be able to get breakfast out on the streets. The shops aren't open, restaurants aren't open, there's some cafes. So it could be better to get a breakfast here in Spain versus like if you're in France, where you have lots of options out on the street. Now, I know safety is always an issue for people when they're looking at hotels. Obviously reviews might mention that, but there are ways you can look up like crime statistics for neighborhoods that you're looking to stay in. So you can do that if you wanna go like over the top and checking things out, because sometimes you see a great deal, but then you find out when you get there, this isn't the neighborhood I want to be in. That's why sometimes it's also a good idea, if you've had friends that have stayed in a city before, like here in Cordoba or Segovia or wherever, and you know they've stayed there before, ask them, where did you stay? Did you like it? What was it like where you stayed? And you might not stay at their hotel, but at least you might find out where their hotel is. And they say, oh, there's tons of restaurants and hotels around there. It's a really great location. So you might find that hotel and look at hotels that are near that one that will be good for you. So ask your friends where they stayed. But Kiara, these are just a few things that we do when we're kind of looking at accommodation, test out where we might want to stay. What are some of your tips? What are some things that you all do, my fellow travelers, to help you figure out what the right accommodation for your stay? Let us know in the comments below, and I'll say bye from here in Cordoba, Spain.